Hey everyone, Saul here with another SAT Solve Live. Today I'll be going over the digital PSAT Practice Test 2 for the PSAT 8th and ninth grades. I have never seen this test before, so you'll get to see how I work through these problems even when I'm not sure about the answer. And if you're lucky, you'll even get to see me make a mistake and potentially how I crawl out of my own mistake. If you are watching this as a live stream, I welcome you to ask any questions that you have in the chat as I solve the questions. I may not be able to answer them right away, but I will come back to them after the module is over to review anything that you were wondering about. If you're watching this as a replay and not a live stream, then I recommend that you look at my video descriptions below. Hit the description below and get the keyboard shortcuts to be able to speed up or slow down playback or to skip chapters. Quick disclaimer, there is a small chance that I've seen maybe like one or two of these questions before. It's pretty small because the practice test that I'm solving today has come out relatively recently, so it's unlikely that I've seen the questions. But just through like the Discord server and just through being a professional tutor, it's possible that some kids have shown me a question or two from PSAT Practice Test 2 just to get my input on it. And so it is possible I may have read like one or two of these. I do not expect there to be more than one or two because this is a fairly new practice test. All right, with that little explanation out of the way, let me I forgot to log into my Blue Book on my iPad, so I'm going to do that first, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I am now logged in, and I should be ready to go. I'm getting a warning from YouTube that my stream quality is kind of low, but my internet should be fine. So let me know if you are here in the chat. Let me know if you're running into any problems. Actually, I'm gonna do one other thing. Interesting. Okay, well, it should be fine. I don't really have any other options at this moment, so I'll work with what I see. Okay, technical issues aside, we're going to get started on PSAT 8-9, Practice Test 2. Here we go. And I'll be solving the reading and writing portions only. Okay, and off we go. I encourage you guys to watch how I solve the questions, and because this really is my first time seeing these questions, and you'll notice some differences probably between the way you solve it and the way I solve it. Here we go. It would be a mistake to blank the exhibit that Joe Baker has organized, underestimate the exhibit because it is essential. It's essential. Or dismiss. Okay. Overlook. Perfect. Anger is a Gift, 2018. Subway train, Northern California. He never tired of this specific view. Now, which view is this? Outside world. Filled the car, rose out of the ground onto the elevation. Okay. Check it. Okay. So this particular view, oh, there we go. Perfect prediction. Manual cats are shy, difficult to research. They're so shy. They're so far from, remote to, distant from. There we go. Runyoung Kim, immigrant experience, clay walls, family from 3 different perspectives. Mother, father, yeah, so clashing or different or distinct. There we go. Were penguins always flightless? Transition. Okay, so we're in a new question type. We're at the part function questions. Teresa Cole and her team argued that they could fly, but they lost it. So this is a hypothesis / argument to the question before, and then there's methodology, and then there's the conclusion. Okay, so it's one answer. So quick prediction. Oh my God, I'm being stupid. I forgot to share my screen. Okay. This is what happens when there's no viewers. All right. So for some reason my screen was working earlier, and it's not now. Okay. So let me fix this. Oh. I'm actually burning my practice test time right now because I didn't. It's so annoying. It's annoying how cheap cables can really just break. Like, what the heck? I need to buy better cables, I guess. Okay, here we go. It's working. So I predicted this is the question and this is the answer. One answer, and then this is the research that supports that answer. And so it provides one scientist's answer to that question. Yeah, that is cat. Wow, that was almost exactly my prediction. All right, next question. This is also part function question. Very little is known about the role that nocturnal insects play in pollination. There's a relationship. Because it's difficult to monitor them. To address this problem, we have a new methodology. So this describes a methodology that solves the problem beforehand. Let me just see if I do have an answer here. Approach. You know what? That's the only one that could work. I'm going to move on. Normally, I would actually finish reading the whole thing, but in this particular case, it's too easy of a question. I saw the 4 answer choices. Too easy. Moving on. Too easy as in I'm so sure that A is right. Moving on. Joplin, celebrated, Maple Leaf Rag, entertainer. Less famous works to appreciate his creativity. These are some examples. Okay, so we have main purpose. So if we look at the transitions, it starts with the things that the known things, and then we move into unknown things, and then we make a general argument about those unknown things. To argue, yes, that is exactly what I predicted. Moving on. Or I didn't actually directly predict that, but it was in my head. I didn't say it out loud, though. Historians have argued, what kind of question is this? This is part function again. Argued that the crucial component was the program, okay. Training sessions, okay. So this is the argument first, and then this is the illustration. CP attendees. Oh, and then this underlying part is just the scale. It's the scale. Underscores the extent of the impact. Sure. I'm going to double check Bear, though. A seems totally correct. I'm double checking B, C, and D now. Hey, what's up, DNG? It illustrates the CP organizers. Nope. Opinions. Nope. Looking at D now. No criticism. We're moving on. All right. A contraction of you all. Y'all. You. Okay. General background in recent decades. Okay. More recent background. What explains? Okay. Research question. Many varieties of English have no pronoun for multiple, but y'all refers to multiple. Okay, so, and then we have a posited argument or an explanation. Okay, so we have general background to an explanation, to the question to the explanation. What question does the most? The question is right in the middle. Why is it popular now? So that's B, and I'm not even looking at ACD anymore because B is exactly what I was looking for. Looking at next question. What kind of question are we at? Are we still at? We're at details now, so we're in the information and whatever section. The information and I just forgot what it's called. Ideas, information ideas section. Stratospheric observatory for Sophia is an observatory. Got it. Mapped out field of G47. It's a galactic bone. It's okay. Surprisingly, all right. So we have a methodology. We have a topic. And then we have a discovery, magnetic field with no pattern direction. It's the opposite of uniform. We had expected more uniform fields. Okay, so we had expected, so this explains why it's surprising. So what was surprising? It has an ununiform, magnetic field. That's exactly what I predicted. All right, total electoral colleges, college votes and popular votes. Here we go. Electoral college, 170 with 100. Okay, yeah, is this, what the? 15th election. Oh, I see. Okay. They had similar popular votes, but very different electoral college votes. How many would it? He received 170. Okay. Overly easy. Probably didn't really need to predict and read that whole thing, but I'm not going to change my strategy just because it's an easy question, because there's no way for me to know if it's an easy question ahead of time. Estimated impacts of predator species on threatened birds, mammals, and reptiles. Got it. There are 3 different species and 3 different categories of animals. Okay. So impact is really large for mongooses, I guess. And cats for birds. Okay. Mongooses on mammals. Okay. All right. Birds are... Cats on reptiles too. Okay. How harmful are they? I'm kind of jumping to the bottom. In the table, higher numbers. The estimated impact of mongooses on mammals is 0.75. Got it. Really easy. This is right, because this is a PSAT. You know what? I think I'm forgetting the fact that I'm solving a PSAT, so I'm just surprising myself at how easy this is the whole time, which is kind of silly. Anyway, here we go. We have a claim, so we're going to support this claim. Adult bike riders about experience, reasons, route preference. Experienced riders who mainly bike to work. Okay, the reason is work. With high experience, reducing travel time. Okay. So we just need to support, I bike all the time. I go to work. I want to save time. Faster. There we go. All right. Mean time in seconds spent per flower for 4 pollinator genera. Well, I'm just zoning out right now, figuring out what this means. Mean time spent per flower for 4 pollinator genera. Okay, genera is genus, which I honestly just completely forgot. But there's 4 pollinators. And then we spend... And there's 4 flowers. No, there's 2 flowers, and some of them are damaged. There we go. And when they're damaged, they take obviously longer to pollinate. Okay. And is there a general winner? The fastest one seems to be the X one. The X one seems to be the fastest across. Yeah, the X is almost always the fastest one, except for P sometimes wins. Okay. So we're just trying to study damage affecting the behavior of pollinators. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm going to read the last sentence and then double check. We concluded that the effect of the damage on time spent per flower vary by floral morph and genus. Okay, I have to see what floral morph and genus are, so I'm going to have to slow down on this one. Here we go. Plant that produces flowers. Okay, they punched holes, they damaged the flowers from the vine yellow jessamine. Okay. And it has 2 types of flowers. They have a long pistil and pin morph. 2 different types of flowers. Okay, the pin morph or the thrum morph. Got it? These are the morphs of flowers. Got it. These are the floral morphs. Time, different pollinators, intact versus impact, pin and thrum. So pin and thrum, those are the 2 morphs. So time damaged. Okay. The amount of time spent per flower changed because of the damage, but it also changed because of the morph and genus. Okay, there we go. So yeah, obviously if I look at these two columns only, then the damage definitely goes, it definitely increases the amount of time. Okay, same with the morph, the other morph, it increases the amount of time. Ooh, it decreases the amount of time, so that one's an interesting one for that part, for the P and X. And then it varies by the genus of the pollinator, which is P and X, are the unusual ones. Yeah. Unlike all the other ones, yeah, specifically for the thrum, it's the PNX that actually decreases the amount of time. So I'm going to look for PNX first because that's kind of the most unique bit of the data. X is over here. There's no P. Okay. All right, so this is the only one that could be correct. So I'm just going to double check B because only B mentions the P or X. Spent less time on damaged pin flowers, but more time on damaged thrum flowers. Yep. So that's pin versus thrum, which is the morph, and then this is X versus O, which is the pollinator, which gets us the genus of the pollinator, which gets us our entire answer choice. I did not read A, C, and D. I am moving on. Hey Leah, welcome to the stream. Again, if you guys have questions, you are allowed to drop questions in real time. I may not answer them right away because this is a time test, but I will swing back around to your questions after the module is over. Zines are magazines. Fire was created in the 20s. Inexpensive form of expression to share with a select audience with art, social commentary against the mainstream. At first, the internet appeared to replace it, but zines are still around. In fact, there are festivals, so this suggests that the internet did not replace the zines. Okay, that's B. Just double checking A, C, and D. Nope. Moving on. Marine archaeologists have found much of the wooden hull of a, okay, if there's air and water, wood rots, unless it's protected by the sediment. Okay. It was in a flooded quarry, so it was exposed to air and water, so it was definitely shielded by some sort of sediment. Yep, that is A. That was my prediction. Now I'm in the grammar section, so we're at the home stretch now. Here we go. And how much time do I have? I have 17 minutes left, even though I had to waste like 1 minute at like question 4 or whatever it was. Okay, multiple newspapers, blank the speaking population of, sure. Oh, sorry, why am I trying to, newspapers are plural, serve. And I think that was one main clause. Yes, that was one main clause, got it. In the Inca Empire, Alice were family clans that ranged. Yeah. You have to infer the were from the clans. Alice. Yeah. That one's kind of interesting. That one's kind of an unusual question actually, because it's not. That one's interesting. That I don't know if I like that question. I don't really like that question. I think that's a little mean. I can talk more about that. But basically, just because the object of the verb is plural does not mean the subject of the verb has to be plural. So that one's more of an inference that the subject is plural, and that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I like that one. Okay. Many Samoans enjoy a sport called K. Was derived from cricket, but it differs in a few ways. Speakers use registers. Got it. The plant's chloroplast subject, comma, the organs, dash. Okay, there we go. I think you guys can predict what was happening in my head as I was reading that sentence. Okay. On November 2nd, amid tensions, we got colonists forming this. Okay, by 1774, what started as a local means of mobilized support had grown into something far more large. Okay, a network of such communities that helped lay the groundwork. Got it. All right, logical transition. I can predict again. Spanish surrealist wanted to incorporate randomness. For example, he wanted to, so to that end, he employed techniques. I would say to that end. With this in mind, yep, to that end. Actually, let me just double check. I feel like that could be like a funny one. Contrary, nope. Conclusion, nope. Nope. Okay. Mata Ortiz pottery technique. He starts by doing so this is probably a process. Then he builds the pot walls. At last, it's ready. So next, he builds the pot walls. That was a process. Bitingly concise or laconic wit, a quality they maintained. For example, I'm guessing, he said, "If I invade Laconia, I shall turn you out." Okay. To illustrate, for example, Mary Kane, Korean-American portrait photographer in New York, Austin. Dominique Fung, seated, resting against the wall behind her. Okay. It's a painting of a painting. No, it's a photograph of a painter. Where Fung is in the paragraph, it's on the floor. And already familiar with Kang and Fung, so we'd have to say Dominique Fung sits on the floor in one of Mary Kang's photos. Okay, it has to be D, but let me just double check A, B, C because I feel a little off. B, A is wrong. B is wrong. The focus is wrong for C, so we're moving on. Okay. Crown shyness. Tops of trees are close together but don't overlap. That's such a funny word. Mutual abrasion. Branches break off. Malaysian scholar posits the mutual shade avoidance. They stop growing. Huh. So do they break off or do they stop growing? Compare the causes. The first cause is the breaking of the branches. And the second cause is the losing of the shade or increasing of the shade. Brushing, shade. It has to be A. I'm just double, and this is comparing it. All right. I'm looking at B and C. I'm looking at D. Oh, yeah. Has to only be B. Okay. Yeah, so only A works, and that is good for me. I have 13 minutes left, and I have no questions in chat, so I'm going to move on to module number 2. After a quick break, I'm just going to take a quick water break, so I'll be back in less than 2 minutes. BRB. All right, guys. Back at it. I still got 11 minutes left technically on my first module, but obviously I'm just going to move on because this test is aimed at people much, much younger than me. All right, so I have no questions in chat, so I'm going to move on to module 2. I think you guys by now should have been able to sort of infer the way that I solve the test. I have my own terminology for it. I predict the answer. I match my answer. If I have a perfect match, I move on. If I don't have a perfect match, then I do process elimination. Okay. I don't think I even have to fully explain what all that means because you can just see how I do it and infer what it means by just watching how I do it. Let's go. Next module. Latro, Jane Wolfe's novel, is a man in ancient Greece. Loses his memory when he sleeps. So before sleeping, he records, carefully choosing which ones to write down, record, preserve. Untouchable, to produce interactive. Okay, so yeah, like completely aloof or like intangible. There we go, untouchable. Because we're trying to interact with them. The percentage of Europe's forest land, mature or old, exceeds other recent estimates. Given how little agreement there is, it shouldn't be surprising. Good, because it's of agreement. Little consensus there is. They're always disagreeing. Is this not a? Oh, it's not a. It's not a word and context question. So this is we're already in like main purpose or something. Yeah. Erdrich, Night Watchman, Pipestone, signatures, fellow members of the tribe in Dakota. Tended the petition like a garden, kept it with him all times, sharpened. So I already kind of have a sense of the purpose. The purpose is basically to characterize how carefully he does his job. How diligently he cornered them. Okay, how totally he has stood up to his mission. Strong commitment, perfect. All right, that is exactly what I predicted. Moving on. 2016, Ghost. Okay, narrator, middle school, bus stop. Okay, look at the people working out. The gym. Oh, okay, got it. It's it is a gym. Window, machines, walking up steps, and so everybody just be facing the bus stop, looking all crazy like they're about to pass out. And trust me, there ain't nothing funnier than that. So I checked that out for a little while, like some kind of movie, the About to Pass Out show, starring Stair Stepper Person 1 through 10, which is kind of funny. The purpose is gonna be to illustrate a scene that the main character is seeing, to describe an activity perfect. He is finding it amusing, by the way, which I didn't say in my prediction, but yes, he thinks it's funny. Text 1, it seems clear that emotional contagion, this is cross text, by the way, so we're going to have to get this reaction to this. Emotional contagion requires physical interaction, observation of body language. After all, smiling positive feelings, comparative positive language. Okay, but probably the opposite position is you can just hear from their voice. Nervous fidgeting, good. Social networking service found evidence of text. Oh, not even voice, text-based. Positive. Oh, okay, yeah. So the Yang and Ferrara disagree. Researchers in text 2 would say about the claim, it seems clear that it requires interaction. They would say, no, it doesn't, though. Incomplete. Even without. Perfect. That is correct. Exactly what I was saying. That was fairly easy, actually. So, yeah, this is why I recommend using the PSAT to practice. Because if you're not getting 700s or above regularly, you should just start with the PSATs. And just get some general practice on reading first before potentially wasting the Blue Book 1 through 6 SATs. 1894 novel, Ships That Pass. History of Rome in London. He did not put down his book. He glanced indifferently at the letter, impatiently at the postman. He did not like to be interrupted. And as he was always reading Gibbon, an interruption was always an insult. Okay, so we're characterizing a particularly persnickety, cantankerous man. How did ZH most likely feel? Is that his name? Yep. When he was annoyed. There we go. Exactly my prediction. Mexican-American woman, Pachuca, men's jackets, dramatic makeup, cool, World War II era, high rounded shapes, Okay, that's just a phenomenon. Here we go. Reaction, criticizing, counter-reaction, historians' reaction. They see it as a form of rebellion against the expectations for women, self-expression. All right, good. How do historians? They actually view it positively as a reflection of the desire for self-expression, freedom, and against the social expectations. Oh, there we go. That is exactly good. What I was predicting. Paleontologist Alan Tennyson studied fossil bones, more than 55 million years old. 2 unknown species of penguins, 3 times the size, more than 3 times the size of the emperor penguin. Okay, one of them is huge. So I feel like this is an inference question. No, it's not. Which choice best describes the 2 previously unknown species? First of all, they're very old, and one of them is very, very large. They are no longer living. There we go. By the way, they are no longer living. Like, obviously, previously unknown. Huh. I mean, it's just fossil. Interesting. Okay, I mean, that is an inference question. It's an inference detail question. But just because it's previously unknown. Oh, prehistoric. My bad. Prehistoric. Stupid. It took me a long time to find that evidence, but like I think I subconsciously absorbed that evidence, but it took me a while to find it explicitly. Okay. Prehistoric is the evidence for that. Percentage of maize exported by 3 countries for marketing years, 2009 to 14, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 different countries, Argentina, Brazil, and United States. Apparently, U.S. is garbage at marketing, but Argentina and Brazil were marketing pretty heavily in 2011, 2012. A student is researching and finds that for 2012, 2013, percentage of maize. Okay, let me just double check this rest of the paragraph. Each country exports a certain percentage of maize each marketing year. There's no way to predict. You just have to look at 2012, 2013 to see what's true. It's kind of annoying. I think these kinds of questions are very lazy. All right, Brazil increased from the nope. Argentina decreased, but remained the highest. Yes. I don't like that because you don't even have to. In these situations, you're barely even reading. Anyway, I don't like that kind of question. I don't like it when they write it like that. It's sort of silly. It feels like busy work. In countries with right-hand traffic, they have to wait for a gap there we go, for a left turn. At busy intersections, this causes a backup. Transportation, so that's a phenomenon and a problem. Claims that in urban areas, eliminating the option to turn left improves traffic flow with or without dedicated turn signals, because sometimes you either wait for a gap or you wait for a turn signal. And as a result, overall travel times, even if, okay, so you increase distance, but you decrease travel times, and I have seen this passage before now that I think about it, now that I fully read it. But here we go. You increase the distance, but sometimes increase the distance, but you still decrease the travel time because of that backing up phenomenon. All right, after they eliminate left turns, reach more addresses. Oh, whoa, yeah, that's the first one I saw, and it's totally correct. I even kind of remember this one. I mean, I could look at the other ones, but I'm so sure. Like, if you eliminate it and you're reaching more addresses, then you are definitely decreasing travel time. Conventional theories of rhetoric hold that presenting information from experts, presenting it as if it's coming from experts, increases the credibility. Got it. Tested the seeker's clinical trials. Okay. Significantly more credible. Than messages from doctors. Former volunteer. Okay, the volunteers are not the experts. One reason for this is that the credentialed experts they didn't ignore it. It was just outweighed by the view of the experiential relevance, because the volunteers are more relevant. No, that's not quite it. We need relevance. Same experience, good. Yeah, that's literally just a restatement. Huh. Huh. I don't really like this kind of. This is what I call. This is what I would consider a fairly sort of like. It's not really a inference. It's just like turning. It's just like interpreting word salads and double checking that it connects to this. Now, this is very similar to textual evidence questions. The other like the quotations and stuff like that, right? It's similar to these kinds of questions. Where are they? I can't find it. Okay, there's none. There's none here. But I just I feel like it's just a missed opportunity to do a proper inference question. So I don't really like this. It's just too. But I mean, it's not that it's invalid. It's gonna test your ability to, because a lot of you guys will waste a lot of time on A, B, and C and D because they all kind of sound the same and they all sound like they all sound like they're going in the same direction as the passage. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like a wasted opportunity there. A, B versus inside TNs. Okay, got it. Rather than reducing the fitness of the host of the TN, AB increased the lifespan of the TN and halts the effects of aging. Furthermore, those infected receive special treatment, ceasing their share of labor and remaining in the nest. Unaffected workers and parasite have shortened lifespans, most likely because wait, there's a reason? Oh, because I guess the only reason possible is the AB, the tapeworms are not helping their lifespan. But that's kind of it's almost redundant sounding. But you can't ever be too right. So okay, this is also what I was predicting. I didn't say it out loud, but I was also predicting B. Yeah, I was predicting B, but it seems a little bit. Okay. I mean, yeah. It's the only. Okay, so I didn't get my prediction, the one that I actually explicitly said out loud. So this was my secondary prediction, which was in my head, but I just didn't say it. This is going to be correct. I'm just going to double check C now. Wait, that's opposite, and then D. That's not a reason, so yeah, it has to be A. It has to be B, I mean. I'm double checking A now. That makes no sense. Okay. I feel something funny around that question, but not because it's wrong. It's just it seems like it requires a bit of background knowledge, but I guess does it really? I guess not. That is like an inference question. It's a proper inference question. It's just a little funny, but I'll move on. Casa Isla. Okay, Casa Isla. Puerto Rico. Panels, steel patterns, crisscrossed by the iron gates that she would see in her neighborhood. Got it? I forgot we're in grammar. There we go. The work consists of piled candy, known for it. He created additional installations. Yeah, I mean, it has to be him. So Dolores Huerta was rooted in her experience, hoping to help her families outside the classroom, comma, she left teaching. In a rural area, gather, like most star parties, takes place in an area with low light pollution, comma, ensuring dark skies, and ideals are correct. In knot theory, knots are characterized by their numbers. The trefoil and figure 8 are among the simplest possible knots. Okay? Entomologists have tried to explain why moths fly erratically, keep their backs, knowing that their backs, the researchers, knowing. Okay. Several advantages have positioned acoustic waves as a promising alternative to electrical waves for transmitting data on computer chips. Okay, yeah, that's a main clause. Yep, it's the only verb. 21. Transition questions. Debated the origins of chondrules. Different theories are proposed, but none had recently strong evidence until now. Recently. Finally. Okay. Cool. In 2022, investigate a relationship between nonprofit arts spending and performance. Okay. Arts, the organization's spending and their performance. Specifically, they examined the correlation between the spend on overhead and their performance, their success. Okay. Specifically. Cool. That's exactly what I predicted. Following notes: 20 black U.S. Army infantrymen rode bicycles. Okay. 41 days. Losing track. Montana to Missouri. Got it. 41 days. Military Bicycle Corps. In 2022, this is more than 100 years later. Reenact the journey to honor. Okay, there we go. How far they traveled. That is 1,900. Okay, that is correct. Slow Food Movement, 1989, Slow Food Manifesto. Access to quality food, sustainable production practices, fair treatment, compensation. So 3 different things. It promotes 3 things. Founded in 2000. The movement, and then 3 things, and then 2000. Introduce it to a new audience. The movement. The movement is founded in 1989. Promotes 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. There we go. It has to be B. A. I'm just double checking. The signing is off focus. Movement is it's not a very good introduction for C, and D. Yeah. Brian Pools, 2002. Sits on the ocean floor. A lake on the ocean floor. Very salty. Toxic. Bacteria, however. Got it. Toxic to most because of salty. There we go. That is B. I'm not even double check C and D because it cannot be more correct than that. Songkran Water Festival. Thai New Year. Splash and Spray. Shillong Road. Chiang Mai is a different city. At the gate. So in 2 different cities, this festival is held in April. Got it. Similarity in Bangkok. And they gather at a place to do the water fight, the largest water fight. Both celebrate Songkran. Nope. That's exactly. All right. Example of an air mass. What's an air mass? Meteorology, an air mass is a large body of air. Uniform humidity and temperature. Got it. 2-letter names. First letter is the humidity. Temperature. Continental. CA is continental Arctic, dry and cold. MT is moist and warm. An example of an air mass. What? We don't even have an example here, right? This is just the classification. All right, I guess we just need to have an example. One type of air mass. It should be an example of an air mass classification or air mass type. It should say the word type after the word mass. It's kind of annoying. So it has to be D. I'm just double checking ABC, but that's actually slightly poorly written. An example of an air mass should be one with an actual name, you know? Not just this one classification. Unless I'm misunderstanding the passage, or if this seems like it was poorly written. Moving on. So we have CA, and let's just double check. Yeah, that's not an example. That's not an example. And that's not an example. So we're done with Module 2, 11 minutes left. A lot of talking in between. And we have no questions in the chat. So I'll move on and do my quick prediction for my score. So let me just skip these pages. Here, you know, there's no reason for me to hide that from you. So, all right. And let me just share my thoughts on my performance today. My performance today, a little bit janky because I think mentally I wasn't fully there. I could, just judging by the evidence that I forgot to share my screen at the very beginning. And also I kept forgetting that this was the PSAT. So that made me, I'm assuming that means that I'm still a little bit loopy. I'm not 100%, but this is such an easy test overall. That for me, I am predicting a 54 out of 54, even despite the fact that I didn't really read all the answer choices most of the times. I was just predicting, matching, moving on. Right? I did that many times. I would say more than 50% of the times. So yeah, I'm predicting 54 out of 54. I hope I didn't make any silly mistakes. I wasn't particularly careful today, so I didn't really double check my answers very often. So if I made a mistake, it's because I didn't follow my own advice, which is to defend the full answer choice by making sure that every single word in the answer choice is a word that I can stand by. But there is a chance that I'm being a little overly arrogant and I kind of went through it a little too quickly. There is a chance for that, but I will still predict 54 out of 54 because I don't remember a specific time when I felt that I was rushing. Not that I didn't do it, but I just don't remember a time like that. Okay, so let's get to, I'm gonna log in first. So I'm gonna hide my screen while I log in and then share my screen again. Okay, now I'm logging in. This is practice test 2 for PSAT 8-9. It's already down here. I got my perfect 720 out of 720. Let's make sure I didn't make any mistakes. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but sometimes you can get a perfect score without... Oh, sorry, let me just switch to reading writing. I got one wrong. Oof. Even though I got a perfect score, I got one wrong. What's the question I got wrong? Oh my God. Oh my God, that is so stupid. I don't know why A is totally correct, but B is not incorrect, is it? Let me just double check, okay? Let's start with A. I'm gonna explain what I should have done for A, and the step that I failed to take that made me ignore A. So I think if you guys remember, okay, here. Let me actually hide this. So you guys should remember that actually I made the right prediction. They concluded that the effect of floral damage on time spent per flower varied by the morph, which is the first two columns versus the second two columns, and the genus, which is the rows. Okay? And so what I said was, let's take, for example, P and X. What we'll notice is that for P and X, we actually have less time spent for damage compared to H and O, right? Because they actually go from higher to lower, whereas these guys go from lower to higher. And what I should have done at that point is I should have also said, my prediction should then be also P and X, they go down over here, but then they go up on the pin flowers. So I had that prediction in my head. I didn't articulate it that slowly, but that is what I was thinking, more or less. And so I was looking for P and X. Now, there was a very obvious step that I generally take, but today I failed to take. The step that I take is that when I'm looking for P and X specifically, even though I'm focusing on P and X, that means that H and O is the other logical pair to go for. So when I'm looking for a match for P and X, it means that either I'm going to look for PX or I'm looking for HO. And so if I were looking for PX or HO, then I would have stopped at A. But for whatever reason, that part of my brain didn't turn on, so I was only literally looking for P and X only instead of HO as well. If I had looked for HO, right, which is the opposite of P and X, then I would have looked at A, and then I would have been like, damage led to longer times per flower in all pollinator genera. Whereas for thrum flowers, damage led to longer only for these two genera. And I guess that gives us the damage by floral morph, which is the pin versus thrum, and then the genera. Huh. Okay, yeah, so I should have stopped on that one. Although I don't really like the way A is worded, but it's not logically wrong. It's worded in a way where it feels like it's not the same topic. But okay. I'll have to think about that for a bit. But that doesn't invalidate my reflection. My reflection is that when I'm looking for PX, I should also be subconsciously also be looking for the opposite of PNX, which is HO. Now, over here, compared with the pollinators of O versus X spent less time on damaged pin flowers, more time on damaged. Oh, I see. So unfortunately, I misread B, and I assumed that B was totally correct. Because what B is saying, oh my God, B is so wrong. Why did I? Okay, let me explain what happened, guys. B is so wrong. B is literally only comparing X versus O, right? But it's only comparing these two to these two. Let me just double check. Compared with O, X spent less time on damaged pin flowers, but more time on damaged thorn flowers. So less time on damaged, but more time. First of all, that's not even true. But yeah, it's looking at the wrong thing. You're actually supposed to be looking at what I'm circling in blue. So so my modified version of B would be compared to osmia. Coelocopa spent more time when the pin flower was damaged as opposed to intact. No. As with osmia, Psilocybe spent more time on damaged pin flowers. However, unlike osmia, it spent less time on damaged thrum flowers. If it had specifically said that, then B would be recoverable, but that is not what it said, and I definitely rushed through that one. Okay, so there are two things that I think I could have done differently to get this one correct. The first thing would have been the more ideal step, which is that from this initial prediction step, from the initial matching step, I should have also been sensitive to HO, okay? HO, instead of being so sure that B was the only one that could be correct, okay? I was like matching incorrectly. And then the second issue is that once I do have a match for B, I should make sure that I'm reading. Here, I'll do a screenshot. I should make sure that I'm reading all parts of B. And then look at this, and I should zoom out. I can't zoom out right now. I should zoom out and double check that they spend less time on damaged pin flowers, which is false, I think. Oh, yeah. Well, this is just the wrong comparison, right? This is the wrong comparison. And then more time on damaged pin flowers. Now this is the wrong comparison, but it's also false, okay? So I should have sat down and double checked the full answer choice to make sure that the full answer choice is correct. And I didn't do that. So even it's actually a very crucial step. When you are doing predict and match like I'm doing, it's dangerous for me as a teacher to teach you guys to do predict and match if I don't also teach you guys specifically to defend the full answer choice. Because it's very easy to predict and match, quote unquote match, but to be overconfident in that match because you are not actually reading the full answer choice. You're just looking in B for the words that you wanted to look for, and you didn't read the rest of B to see if it's fully correct. So predict and match is actually very dangerous if you're not actually reading the full answer choice before you move on. And this is again the same mistake that I made on practice test number 1 for PSAT 10. Okay, it's the same mistake I made. Very, very silly and avoidable mistake. But in this case, it didn't really matter because I still got my 720 out of 720 because maybe this was an experimental question or whatnot. All right, so that's my little reflection on my mistake there. So unfortunately, it is a perfect score, but not a perfect performance. All right, I'm seeing questions now. Let's just quickly answer these questions, and then I'll wrap up the stream. So we have Cyrillic alphabet guy. I feel like I should probably learn to read the Cyrillic alphabet. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard, right? Yeah. But here we go. 740 reading writing, 800 confident vocabulary. I will say for the December SAT you have only 4 weeks, so you're not going to improve your vocabulary that much. But for vocabulary, the first thing I would say is go back over whenever you do a practice test. I grew up poor. I'm gonna start with an analogy, okay? I grew up poor, so if I ever had the opportunity to eat a steak, or not even steak, let's just talk about let's talk about buffalo wings, okay, or chicken wings, okay? Whenever I had the opportunity to just eat chicken wings, right, with my friends. I would see my less poor friends just like take maybe 70% of the chicken meat off of the bones and then toss the chicken into their pile of 30% meat and bones. It was actually infuriating to me as a kid because I was like, how can you throw away that much meat? Whenever you saw me have chicken wings, I would take the meat clean off the bones, and I would even eat the cartilage, right? Because I was poor. I thoroughly enjoyed my meat. Okay, um, and and that habit still sticks with me to this day. You know, if I ever have chicken wings, you will see that my wings are always clean. Okay, now. Uh, The reason I tell you this story is because the vast majority of students studying for the SAT are like my friends. They'll like bite into a practice test and then just throw the rest away. And how are they doing this? They will solve it in time, right? So that's what, a 64 minutes total for the reading writing portion, right? They'll solve it, so they'll spend a total of 64 minutes on the reading writing portions. And then how many minutes do they spend on review? Like, depends on if you're getting a 740, you know, if you're getting 740, that means you're getting like 3 questions wrong, right? How many minutes are most people spending on review when they have 3 questions wrong? 10 minutes or less, right? It's a complete fucking waste. Such an insane waste to me. To me, I see people studying like that, and I just see a pile of chicken bones with a bunch of meat still left on those bones. And it upsets me. It upsets me because you're wasting these practice tests. How do you improve your vocabulary? Guys, if you're spending 10 minutes on the 3 questions you got wrong, you're wasting that entire practice test. Go back over the entire practice test. Don't even look at the answer key. Don't even look at the answer key. Solve it for 64 minutes. Solve the math if you want. That's up to you. And then when you come back to the reading and writing, go back over the entire practice test without seeing which questions you got right or wrong. Okay, so turn off the what's it? There's like a check mark for hiding the correct answers. Start at question number 1. Hide the correct answers. Go back through the entire test and scrape the entire test for every sentence that you did not understand fully. Okay, if there was a single sentence, it could be question number 1 on module number 1. And if you see in the paragraph, it's like a paragraph where you actually got the answer with high confidence. But even then, in the sentence, in the passage, there was this one sentence that you didn't fully understand. It just turned out that you didn't really need that sentence to get the correct answer, right? But even there, if there is a sentence you didn't understand, I want you to ask yourself why you didn't understand it and go and pick out the words that were messing you up, look it up, and add it to your vocab list. You are not picking the meat off of the bones. And that is, you are wasting a very, very obvious opportunity to improve your vocabulary right away. So start picking the meat off the bones. All right, that's for vocabulary. But besides that, I will say, if I zoom out really quickly, it's very unlikely for vocabulary to be the main reason why. If you're somebody who's already scoring 740, it's very unlikely that vocabulary is a genuine reason why you're not hitting 800. It's just a convenient excuse. Everyone likes to blame vocabulary. It's like if you're playing soccer, everyone just, it's so easy to blame the goalkeeper. Like it's so easy to blame the goalkeeper if the attacker has a shot at it and the goalkeeper misses. But maybe it's not the goalkeeper's fault, right? Maybe it's the defense's fault. And then it's so easy to blame the defense, the defending line, because they were like out of position and made it easy for the attacker to get off a shot. But then maybe you have to blame the midfielders. Like, what if the defensive midfielder is like totally switched off and not helping cover the attack, right? Like, there's so many reasons why it could be that you're letting in goals. And it's not always the goalkeeper's fault. It's not even always the center back's fault. It's not always just the fullback's fault. It's not always just the midfielder's fault, right? There's so many reasons why you could be giving up a goal, but people love to blame the goalkeeper. They love to blame the most obvious thing to blame, which is the vocabulary in the situation. Okay, so oftentimes if you go back over the questions, you'll find that you can actually get the correct answer without knowing the vocabulary, as long as you use a disciplined approach and you try to analyze what step it is that messed you up. Keshav, what's up? Okay, so that's it for the questions I have today. Good to see you guys in today's stream. If you have further questions for me, I encourage you to join the Discord server, which is in the description below. And if you enter the Discord server for the first time, you will be level 0. You will have to chat in the newcomers channel until you hit level 1. And from there, you'll be able to ask more questions and access all the other channels as well. Okay? So I encourage you to ask your questions in the Discord server because I'm going to wrap up this stream. If this video has been helpful for you, please hit that like button to tell the YouTube algorithm to send this video out to more people and to help more people like you. If you'd like similar videos in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. I will be continuing to do SAT content, and this November till next May, free content will be one of my top priorities. Finally, if you'd like to chat with me, consider joining my channel membership, my YouTube channel membership. I do weekly members-only streams where I give tips, answer your questions. It doesn't just have to be up the SAT. During these streams, you can ask me about your homework. You can ask me about test prep. You can ask me about college. You can ask me about life, whatever. These are my so-called office hours streams, which I'll be doing on, is it my Sunday or is it my Monday? I forget. But Sunday, Monday, every week at a given time. If you want to become a member and you want to attend these streams, but the time doesn't work out for you, just let me know somewhere in the members channel, in the members feed. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Glad to have you guys with me, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.